Welcome back, guys. So it's the next day. I have the board flipped. We've hot coated the deck in the previous video. In this video, we're going to hot coat the bottom. Very similar. The only thing that's slightly different is now in the last video with the hot coating, we didn't tape off this back section of the tail. So there's a little epoxy here, and what we did was we let the epoxy drip down over the edge, so we're going to be able to form a nice hard edge in the back here when we sand. We're going to create a tape dam here, but before we do that I need to just sand this epoxy rough so that the next batch of epoxy has a place to bond. We'll tape this all off, tape dam this, mix up some epoxy, and then we'll hit it with the hot coat on the bottom. So let's get to it. Very similar to hot coating the deck. When we tape the rail for the hot coating the bottom, you can see this, hopefully it's captured on camera, this edge here where the previous tape line was. We're going to tape very, very close to it. We're going to tape as close as possible. So what we want to do, as an example, is we're going to tape just like that. We're going to leave about, I don't know, 1/16 or a millimeter or so of it exposed, so that when we hot coat, it has something to meet up with on the previous coat, and when we peel this off, we'll only have a little tiny bit to sand. So that's what we'll do right here. And I'm starting at the spot where we're going to make a tape dam in the rear fin section where the hard edge will be. So I'm going to tape this section first, all the way around the board, and then I'm going to tape the rear. For the tape dam, we're going to dam off a section like this in the back. So that way there'll be lots of resin to pool back here, so I can, when I sand a nice sharp edge. Because there's a curve, the tape has a tendency to bow inward, so we had to put little tiny creases in the tape to compensate for that. I don't really have a tried and true method for this. I kind of just keep trying at it until I get something that looks like it'll work. Because as you can see here, if I put the tape on like this, it has a tendency to bow inward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it in sections. So what these little creases do, it has a tendency to keep the tape from bowing inward. So I mixed up some resin About the same amount as the deck, 400 grams total mixed resin. Might need a little bit more because I'm also doing the fins at the same time, and I want a little more resin in the back for the dam. We'll see how it makes out, and then if I need to mix up some more, I'll mix some more up. And don't forget, some additive F to keep the fish eyes down to a minimum and to help the epoxy flow. And you always want to do this above 15 degrees Celsius, preferably above 20, so that the epoxy flows really nice. Dump it all out over the board, same as before, and hit it with the brush all the way around. Check out the previous video. I'll cover a bit more of that, but it's pretty much exactly the same. Okay, now we're going to let it sit, and then we'll come back and pull the tape just like we did before. Check on it every once in a while, see how tacky it is, and it just makes it easier to pull the tape before it gets fully cured, fully hard. Just makes it a lot easier. Okay, so come back in a couple hours. So you can see here, the tape dam came out great. I got lots of extra epoxy here to sand flush, to make a nice square rail. So that'll be great. And then over here on the main part of the rail, you can see right here, that's the line where the tape met. And then I removed it, so that blended in really nice. So we're gonna get rid of that in the sanding process. And I just wanted to show you real quick, this is where there was a blend with the patch back in this rear tail section for the fins for reinforcement, a piece of fiberglass reinforcement that I added in later because I forgot to add it in during the lamination process. As you can see, it blends in like crystal clear. If we were making a board that was just that wasn't going to be like this, like I'm going to actually paint this, and that's why you can still see some of these marks. And then you can see here where I had filler material to hide my crimes. You can see that this would come crystal clear. But we're going to move on to the sanding process. So in the next video, we will do sanding. My least favorite part of board building because it just makes a mess, but it is super important. So let's start on that video. So thanks for watching. Okay, until the next video.